Morning, everybody. It's Bob, the Green Man, from Chateau de Muff in Mesa, Arizona, Zone 10A. Wanted to do a video. I got the idea a couple weeks ago. When you're growing tropical fruit trees, how do you propagate them? A lot of these you can propagate from seed, and they will grow fairly quickly. Some you can even take a cutting and put it in the ground or some soil, and they will grow fairly quickly within a few years. Some, unfortunately, like this apple tree, it takes 6 to 8 years from seed. So we're gonna walk around the yard today and take a look at some trees that will grow fairly quickly within 5 years at the latest, from seed or from cuttings. So first, let's start right over this way, and we have a fig, which you're going to grow from a cutting. And all you need to do is take a piece of wood from this year. Actually, this whole branch right here was grown this year. So you take that and you cut a couple nodes. So I would say I would cut right here, and then we'll cut back to, say, here, and you'll strip the bark off and put that in soil over the winter. And where these bud nodes are, new growth will come out of there. That's the quickest way to propagate figs. Bananas, well, you just dig up one of these little pups down here. So that pup, you pull back your mulch and soil, and you're actually going to cut it on the other side, and you want to make sure to get separate it from the corm, and you want to make sure to get some roots along with it. And then you just plant it in the ground. You cut the leaves off. So we would cut, these leaves would get cut like right here. This part of the plant can still do photosynthesis, and eventually they will push out new leaves. Starfruit, you can grow starfruit from seed in 3 to 5 years. In fact, we got a plethora of starfruits here. Here's just 3 that this tree is loaded right now with flowers. So if one of these were to fall and decompose, the seed would eventually grow into a seedling, and within 3 to 5 years, we would have fruit again. Guava. Guavas, you can take a cutting, any hardwood cutting, and stick it in the soil, and within 2 to 4 years, you would have a fruiting guava. Chama. It's a Brazilian cherry. 4 to 5 years growing from seed. Peanut butter. I say peanut butter, and actually I'm going to show you a seedling that I planted earlier this year Now, peanut butter takes 2 to 3 years from seed to produce fruit. Moving along. See, we have June plums. So June plums are 4 to 5 years from seed, or you can do a cutting as well. You take, like I said, a hardwood cutting and put it in the ground, and it's 2 to 3 years is the information that I got. Papayas. Papayas are one of those very fast growing, very fast fruiting. Papayas, you plant the seed from this papaya right here in the ground, 6 to 12 months, you'll have it fruiting. That's amazing. Slip back over this way. Star cherry. Star cherry is 1 to 3 years from seed. Now this next one that I'm going to show you is kind of on the outside, or outside of the time frame that most people would do. I mean, but if you're really into this fruit, you could do it. This is a guava berry, and from seed it takes 6 to 8 years. Like I said, if you like the fruit, it's worth the wait. Peaches. Now, peaches take 3 to 5 years, shockingly. And actually, I'm going to show you a seedling that is in line to fruit next spring. Sherbet berry, or falsa. This thing will fruit in 1 to 2 years from seed. And this is actually, I got this last October. This thing's grown really fast. In fact, they're kind of like figs, in the sense that you prune them back real heavy and they will grow quite a bit. This is basically 1 year's growth. I made a cut right there, and all of this other stuff has grown real quick. Javanacama, it's best to get a grafted variety. Lots of these, if I don't mention them, it's probably best you just get a grafted variety. Moringa will flower and fruit within 1 year of seed. And I took down a moringa in the front yard, and there are baby moringas everywhere up there. They grow really fast, and they don't even need to be into the soil. They will grow right from the mulch. Here's a wax jambu, 3 to 4 years from seed. This is actually a seedling. This is a 2-year-old seedling. The first year was basically taking its time, getting itself set. This has grown quite a bit this year. Good chance that we get fruit off it, possibly flowering next year. I'm thinking fruit maybe in 2027. There's a cherry of the Rio Grande, and this is 4 to 5 years from seed. Sugar apple. Now these are 2 to 3 years from seed. Actually, I believe this is a seedling. I don't even see a graft. He's grown real well here in the valley. This is a jujube, and jujubes will flower and fruit 2 years after planting a hardwood cutting. Something like this. Cut it, scrape off here, and put a rooting hormone on it, stick it in the ground or stick it in some dirt, and you will have your very own jujube. Passion fruit. So passion fruit you can grow from seed, but the faster method is to take a cutting. So you take one of these side shoots here. Let's see if I can find one right here. Get out of the sun for you. So you take this side shoot and you will cut here and make sure you have a couple of leaves above. So we take this leaf off, this leaf off, this leaf off, that leaf off, and leaves these here. And this is actually getting ready to flower. In 12 to 18 months, you will have flowers and fruit. And this will be an identical clone of the plant. Keep going. We'll head back to the tropical zone. Now, with all these tropical trees, if you want fruit the fastest, it's best to just go and get yourself a grafted variety. But if you like growing from seed, go ahead. Seedlings, in my experience, are a little bit more tolerant of cold and heat. That's in my experience. It may not be other people's experience. Here's an amla. This is Indian gooseberry. Now this will fruit from seed anywhere 2 to 10 years. I realize 10 years is a long time, but if you get the right conditions, 2 years for this guy. Jamaican cherry. This is a seedling actually for a buddy of mine that I'm overwintering for him. 18 to 24 months for this guy. And in fact, I planted one like this in February of this year. And this is what it looks like now. That is about 12 feet tall, 12 feet tall. That's more like 12 to 15 feet tall. And we've got flowers. We've got ripening fruit. We've got some decent sized fruit there. All in just one season. Abiu. This is a yellow star apple. And this is a seedling as well. It's tough to see down there because we got a bunch of growing on the bottom. But this will flower and fruit 3 to 5 years after planting. Here's a kwai muck, and this is a seedling. This is the sweet relative to the jackfruit. Now this will flower and fruit 3 to 4 years. This is about a year old seedling, I'd say. When we got it, we had these 3 leaves on it, And since I put it in the ground a couple months ago, it loves the heat. I'll tell you what. It is growing just fine. Moving along, we have a sandtole right here. This is a seedling as well. Takes 3 to 5 years to flower and fruit. It is loving our cooler weather. Suriname cherry. This will flower and fruit in 2 to 3 years from seed. So you see, this is doing just fine. Next to it is a Rollinia, and this is a sweet sugar apple, basically. They call it a sweet sop, a wild sugar apple, if you will. Rollinias this is a seedling, I think. Double check. Yep, it's a seedling. These will flower within, actually, no, you know what? I believe this is a grafted variety. Yeah, it is right there. You can see the graft. So this will, from seed, it will flower 3 to 5 years. Next is dragon fruit. And these are dragon fruit saplings. From seed, these will take anywhere 3 to 6 years, but a cutting will take 1 to 2 years. Cherimoya, 3 to 5 years for a seedling. Now this is a graft, as you can see right there. Well, you take one of these, you put it in the ground, 3 to 5 years, you'll have fruit. Here is my peanut butter seedling. We had a peanut butter fruit, and I put it in the ground here in the tropical zone, and I forgot where I put it. I think I put it in the ground about August. I forgot where I put it, and lo and behold, here it is. Just popped up out of nowhere. Here's a mango seedling that we just started. Now, mangoes will take 5 to 8 years to flower and fruit, which in the grand scheme of things is not very long. We're going to show you a mango in the front that is old enough to flower this winter. Let's continue on here. The moringa, I forgot to mention that you can take a cutting from that and it will flower and fruit in 6 to 8 months. Here's a pineapple guava, and this guy will flower and fruit in 3 to 5 years from seed. And here we have my peach that I mentioned. This is a peach grown from seed. I believe it's a Babcock peach. 2 years ago, I got the seed, overwintered it. Last year it grew well. This year it grew well. Good chance for this to flower and fruit next year. If it does, I'll probably just leave one fruit on it. I'm not going to try and stress it out. Last tree that we will talk about back here is this one. Inga ice cream bean. 5 to 7 years from seed. And this is probably about a 5-year-old tree. Now this is grown from seed. And every year they'll get hardier and hardier. I have never protected this thing. It will get some cold damage if we get cold enough. But we're looking forward to this flowering and fruiting next season. So let's head up front. I'm gonna grab a Barbados cherry to go. Actually, before we do, Barbados cherry is on my list. And these take a long time to grow from seed, but you can take a cutting, again, a hardwood cutting, and it will flower and fruit 1 to 2 years. So we're gonna go up front, take a look at that mango. Real quick before we go up there, I saw this and I'll show you guys the size of this banana flower. I mean, that is probably the biggest one that we've had. It's also got quite the trunk on it here. A good shot from underneath. All right, let's head to the front. All right, here we are in the front. And this is my unnamed mango that is old enough to bear fruit. It is putting out new growth. This is a seedling from Gaylord mango. And actually, here's a seedling from a moringa that fell. And I mean, take a look at that. That's just straight out of the seed. And that was sitting right in the mulch. It was not in the dirt or anything. That's pretty cool. So for those of you who have moringas or want one, just throw some seed in the mulch. Let Mother Nature take care of the rest. We had a moringa here that was actually shading the achacha and this lychee. And once these two got big enough to handle the sun on their own, that's when we pulled it out and put this guava in here. Anyway, guys, I just thought that'd be an informative video. You know, you don't necessarily need to go out and purchase a tree. You can grow one from seed. It may take a while, but in the case of the Jamaican cherry, it may go by really quick. But anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you learned something. Anyway, if you have any questions or comments, let me know. And until next time, have a great day, guys.